Minute MBA. What's the big deal about the Federal Reserve? After more than 100 years of congressional fisticuffs over whether or not to create a central bank, the Federal Reserve was created in 1913 by President Woodrow Wilson to help stabilize the American monetary system. Not everyone was a fan. Congressman Charles Lindbergh called it the worst legislative crime of the ages. So what's the big deal? Since its inception, the Fed has been the subject of conspiracy theories alleging it creates inflation, recessions, and even the Great Depression through manipulation of the money supply. The typical argument against the Fed is that it's a private corporation partially run by the same banks it's supposed to regulate. This basic misconception leads anti-Fed debaters to conclude that the Fed is completely private. It's not. The Fed, like most central banks in the world, is considered independent only in that it handles its day-to-day operations without oversight by the federal government. But its chairman and board of governors are appointed by the president, and it's subject to congressional legislation and the Treasury Department. Since the Fed was created by congressional charter, they are not organized like a normal corporation. Shareholder banks have no voting power, and all decisions are made by government-appointed bureaucrats. Finally, the biggest myth is that the Fed owns the government. The claim is that the Fed lends money to the government at interest, thereby stealing the people's money and selling us into debt slavery. The only problem? The interest on debt held by the Fed actually goes to two places. One, the Fed pays itself out of this interest to cover its own operating costs. And two, the rest of the interest is rebated to the Treasury. So no, the Fed does not own the government. For more information about finance programs, check out OnlineMBA.com.